The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the SCR webinar series. With us today we have Melissa Patton. Melissa is a former realtor and small business owner. After receiving her degree in advertising from USC, she worked in radio, newspaper, and television advertising before making the leap to real estate. Following the birth of her twins, Melissa began studying social media and now spends her time training, coaching, and speaking to small business owners and realtors on how to take full advantage of the remarkable resource that is social media. Thanks for joining us, Melissa. Now we'll turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Sharon. Thanks so much, Sharon. Let me first start out by thanking the South Carolina Association of Realtors for having me here. Sharon and Mike and Nick are just doing a fabulous job, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. So we are going to pack in a lot of information into 1 hour, or just at 1 hour. We are going to try to take a couple of questions at the end, so if you do have a question, shoot it to us and we'll try to get to it at the end. But I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself. I am Melissa Patton. I am a graduate of Carolina, so I hope we've got a few Gamecock fans out there. I'm glad to be back in Columbia today. I live in a small town here in South Carolina called Clinton, and it's a beautiful small town about halfway between Columbia and Spartanburg, right on the interstate. So if you have not stopped through Clinton, please do sometime. But I'll tell you a little bit about how I had the opportunity to learn so much about social media. As you guys know, it's very difficult to learn about social media. You can't learn about it in college. You can take a class here or there, but a lot of times by the time you take the class, whatever you've learned is completely out of date. And you guys, I'm sure, have seen that already. So I received my degree from Carolina in advertising, and that was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to write radio copy and TV commercials and make newspaper ads, and when I graduated, that's what I did. I went to work for a large automotive dealership chain in the upstate, and I sat at a computer and did that, wrote radio ads and TV copy and newspaper ads. And that was a lot of fun for a couple of years, but got a little monotonous. So I had some friends in real estate, and they said, hey, why don't you come on over here and sell real estate with us? And so I did that and absolutely love selling real estate. It is definitely my true calling, and hopefully one day I'll have a chance to get back to it. But in my first year that I was selling in the upstate, I was Rookie of the Year, Listing Agent of the Year, and Selling Agent of the Year, and went on to have several years of great success with real estate. But I met my husband, and he lives in Lawrence County, where there is not even an MLS there. So I felt like probably my opportunity with real estate was not going to be too good there. So he asked me to come on board with him with some of the businesses that he owned, and he wanted to start a restaurant. So we did that. We started a great restaurant in downtown Clinton. So if you're in the area, sometimes stop by. It's Steamer's Cafe. And we ran that for several years when we had our first child, and definitely we're trying to have another one. And then we found out in 2009 that we were going to have a set of twins, and that was a little bit of a shock to us, but an exciting shock. At the time, we had to sell the restaurant because obviously I had to stay home with them. So I knew that I was going to be at home for quite a while with these kids. And at the time, I could tell that there was something going on with this social media thing. I was hearing a lot about Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook in 2009 at the time. You know, I was very successful with using traditional media, with newspaper and radio and TV, with the businesses that I had been in, and really didn't want to hear about social media. Felt like it was, wasting my time. And of course, I had a small child, was pregnant with the twins. But I knew that there was something going on with that, and I needed to find some way to learn about it. So I took the opportunity to sit with the babies in front of the computer and just spend hundreds of hours watching videos and reading white papers and studying case studies, trying to figure out how that social media was going to be applicable to me, because I knew that I would someday be back at work. I had always worked in a small business environment, or either for myself. all the case studies that I studied were either for Nike or a Walmart or a Nestle or something like that. It was very difficult to find any information where a small business was exposed and successful with social media. So I took the opportunity to try to experiment with some of the businesses that I had and work with some of my friends on some businesses, and I have feel like I've sort of cracked the code a little bit on what it is that we need to be doing as small businesses and especially as real estate agents. So just wanted you to know that I come from a very strong background of traditional media, but have definitely turned the page and appreciate now what social media has to offer for us. So I hope that you'll get a lot out of this hour. The first thing I want you to realize as a real estate agent is that there has definitely never been a better time to be in real estate, because social media is hands down the most powerful tool ever invented for real estate professionals, for us to market ourselves and our listings. We have the opportunity now every day for free to be in front of thousands of people through our network of friends and the concept of sharing and commenting and liking. We can share content that people are interested in, that they are entertained by, and that will move us to the front of their brain when they need to buy and sell real estate. We have the opportunity to engage with them, to start conversations with people that we don't know in order to be successful in real estate. And all that equals us being the expert agent in our market. And I'm going to kind of go through some of these steps today, and hopefully you will begin to have a little clearer picture of what social media can do for you and your business. So let's get started here. I'm going to start with the number one big mistake that most real estate agents make is there's still a lot of people who think that social media is an option. Well, you can't ignore it anymore. A lot of folks think if they ignore it, it's just going to go away. It's not. I'm here to tell you that it's not. We're going to look at some examples of that. A couple of recent statistics I will show you. I'm sure you're familiar with this one. 93% of all real estate searches begin online. So if you're not online, you can't be found. And this is taking into account not just websites, but of course Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com, but also social media platforms as well. Also, a lot of agents ignore YouTube, but what they're finding out very quickly are that sellers are demanding that we have a YouTube channel and that we market their homes on YouTube. 73% of sellers say that they're more likely to list their home with an agent who is on YouTube, but only 12% of agents actually have a YouTube channel. Pretty big disconnect there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about YouTube as we get towards the end. So hang with me. I'm going to focus a lot of our day on Facebook. And the reason for that is because 1 out of every 7 minutes that people spend on the internet is spent on Facebook. So let that sink in for just a minute. We have an opportunity to be in front of people in a social environment 1 out of every 7 minutes that they are on the internet. It is a remarkable tool. Hopefully you guys some of you are on it personally. Hopefully a lot of you are on it with a business page, and we're going to kind of get down in the nitty-gritty of that. Number 2 on my bottom line here, 63% of small businesses using social media saw an increase in ROI. I know when I was selling real estate, I spent a lot of money, I mean a ton of money, marketing myself and my homes through, at the time, Real Estate Book, website, newspaper ads, and a lot of times I was unsure about my ROI there. The great thing about social media, of course, is that it is free, and there is a big time commitment, but it's free. So if you have not considered your bottom line here, now's the time. Also, most small businesses saw an increase in customer satisfaction. I think that's really because people get used to seeing you in that social environment. And when you're when you're showing up every day and people see you, then they like you. If they don't like you, then they're going to either unfriend you or unlike the page so that they don't get your updates anymore. But number 4 is my favorite, is absolutely my all-time favorite statistic. I'm not a whiz with statistics, but this is the one that I love the most. 45% of small businesses saw a drop in marketing costs. Oh my gosh, that just makes me like so excited to think about the fact that we might be able to keep a little bit more of the money that we make. We as real estate agents are very hardworking folks, and it's unfair that we have had to spend unbelievable amounts of money marketing our sales and our listings, but now we don't have to do that anymore. So, number 5, social media has a 100% higher lead to close ratio than outbound advertising. So if people are seeing you on social media, there is an unbelievable opportunity there to grab that lead versus, say, a newspaper ad or a real estate book ad or even a billboard ad. And this is where your figures for your ROI come into play. And finally, one of the reasons why I focus so much on Facebook is because nearly a quarter of all Facebook users are checking their feed at least 5 times a day. I would be here to argue that that number probably needs to be 20 times a day, because most people are looking at it mobily. 70% of Facebook users access their account through mobile, either a phone or a tablet, and they are looking at it a bazillion times a day. So hopefully that this is kind of opening your eyes a little bit. But this particular statistic is one that kind of shocked me when I first ran across it a few months ago, that the iPad, the tablet, this thing that that most people own and feel like they can't live without anymore, was not even on the market at the time that my twins were born 4 years ago. Unbelievable that this device has penetrated our lives, and most of the reason why it has penetrated our lives is because of its access to social media and the fact that we want to have that access with us all the time. So this kind of goes back to, if you think that you can ignore social media and it will go away, think about this statistic, that this has happened so quickly. This device that we know and love has penetrated us in such a short period of time. So the technology is not going away, guys. And I'd be here to argue that if you do not start marketing yourselves and your listings on social media, that you will be out of business in less than 2 years. I think that that window is closing very, very quickly. So hopefully you'll learn some stuff today about how to get started. So next up, this slide represents why I think that most real estate agents have had such a difficult time grasping social media, because in the past, we'd go out to our listing appointment and we'd take pictures and we'd measure and we'd fill out all of our forms and we'd come back to the office and we'd hand it over to our office manager or marketing manager in the office, and then she would take that information and input it into the MLS, and then she would design our real estate book ads and our newspaper ads and flyers, all that for us, and we didn't have to do it. We didn't have to think about marketing. We had somebody else to do it. The difference is we can't do that anymore. You've got to be marketing yourself and your listings every single day. And we are going to talk a lot, some later, about content and some things that you can be posting every day. It is a big time commitment. I'm not here to lie to you. It is a big time commitment, but it will pay off exponentially for you because it's free. And I think you really need to appreciate the fact that it's free and have fun with it. I was down in a beautiful town of Sumter yesterday and had some realtors there tell me just how much they love Facebook personally, that they can't wait to get on it every night and see what their friends are up to. So I think it's time to embrace it and start figuring out how to use it for your business. So moving on to the number 2 top mistake that most real estate agents are making on social media is not really understanding that photos are the key to success with social media. you need to understand that photographs receive 80% more engagement than a status. So what does that tell us? That tells us never, ever, ever post anything unless you're posting a photograph with it. Just don't even bother if you're not going to post a photograph. And tag your relevant friends in the post. This is one of the key secrets to really driving your success on social media. So I'm going to exit out here for a second and just kind of show you. This is my news feed. Just to give you an example, when I get on social media, this is what I'm doing, and this is what we all are doing, whether we're on our desktop or our laptop or our tablet or iPhone. We're scrolling, looking for something that's going to stop us. Well, I promise you, the status is not going to stop me. I'm looking for a photograph that's going to stop me. And the only thing I might stop and look at, if it's one of my very, very best friends has a status, I might look at that. But I think it's important that you kind of see that you're wasting your time, because we're all doing this, not just me. So I'm going to pop back over here quickly and just kind of reiterate, do not forget to tag your relevant friends in your photographs. I'm going to talk a little bit more about why this is important in a second. But what this actually means is, when you go to that closing and you take the photograph of the happy couple with the keys in their hand, or the happy couple with the check in their hand, you really need to think about who is relevant to tag in that photograph. Well, we all know that there's 12 to 15 different people that touch a transaction before we get it to the closing table. We've got other agents involved, we've got the bug man, we've got the appraiser, we've got the home inspector, we've got the contractor who took care of all the problems that the house had, you've got the paralegal, you've got the attorney. There's so many people that you can tag in this photograph, and those are the people that need to be tagged in these closing photographs. Like I said, we're going to talk about that in just a second, why that's important to tag people. But every single day when you post a photograph, you need to tag somebody that's relevant in that photograph. I think I'm going to exit out real quick and show you, see if I can find this good example. This is a real estate agent in Aiken, and this is a photograph that she took a few days ago at I think this is a really large subdivision in Aiken called Cedar Creek, and she tagged all the people that she knows that live in that subdivision about this particular post. So she tagged all those folks in this photo, and I was working with her a couple of days ago while she was tagging people, and she saw her post reach go from about 35, and while I was there, it was up to about 763. I don't know where it's at now. I haven't had a chance to talk with her about it, but she saw the difference that tagging can make. So, all right, I'm going to pop back over here again, and we're going to move on so that I can kind of explain why it's so important for people to engage with your posts. So here is an example of a post. This is from some of my clients, Chuck and Ray, up in Greenville, Spartanburg area. They're doing a great job on their page. You can see at the bottom of this post, on the bottom of every post, you see like, comment, and share. Got the big orange oval down there. What's happening when you post your photograph on Facebook? Facebook only shows your post, your photo, your status, your video, whatever it is. They only show it to between 6 and 8% of your fans that have liked your page. So if you have 1,000 fans on your page, then between 60 and 80 people are going to see that post initially. And Facebook's going to kind of let it sit out there and see if anyone is going to engage with that photo. Is anybody going to click like or comment or share? So that's the definition of engagement, is someone clicking like or comment or share. Now, when someone clicks like or comment or share, then it shares it to their personal timeline, and between 6 and 8% of their personal friends are going to see your post. And that is how you add a little bit of gas to your post, and you start getting in front of people who are not your friends, who are friends of friends or cousins of friends. That's how you broadcast your message a little bit louder, is by getting people to engage. So we've got to post things that people are going to click like, or they're going to comment on, or they're going to share. You're absolutely wasting your time unless anybody engages with your post, because Facebook is showing it to such a few amount of people. Now, I get this question all the time when I'm speaking. People say, well, can we control who the 6 to 8% that see the post are? Well, unfortunately, we can't. Facebook takes control of that. And what happens is they have robots that are crawling all of our posts to see what the post is about. So if I were to post about dogs, something about a dog, then Facebook, of course, knows who likes dogs, because those folks have clicked on before posts about dogs. So then Facebook would choose that 6 to 8%. They would see those folks that like dogs are the ones that would see my post about dogs. And in this particular case, with this post that you're seeing right here, 307 Slate Drive, Bowling Springs, Facebook is probably going to show this to people who have expressed interest in Bowling Springs or who live in Bowling Springs right now. So we don't have any control over it, but fortunately Facebook is trying to show it to people that it thinks are going to be interested in that post. So we got a pretty good shot of getting somebody to engage in it. So keep that in mind. They're really they're cutting us off at the knees here. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 fans on your page, because 1,000 people are not seeing your post. And you've probably have noticed over the last several months that your news feed, whether you're seeing it on your desktop or on your mobile, that it's kind of filled up with stuff that you're kind of interested in. They started to realize about a year and a half ago that there was some bleed off to other social media networks, because there was so much so-called junk that was showing up in people's news feeds, and you had people that were jumping off of Facebook and going to Instagram and Pinterest and some other more interesting, less junky social media outlets. And so Facebook said, oh my gosh, we've got to kind of revamp here. So what they've done is they're deciding to show us now exactly what they think that we want to see. So you've probably noticed that you're seeing the same type of content over and over in your news feed. So for me, Facebook knows that I'm a Girl Scout mom and a Girl Scout leader, and if anybody posts anything about Girl Scouts, I'll always engage with it. So inevitably, every day, I generally have 4 or 5 different posts, something to do with Girl Scouts, that will show up in my news feed. And so you've probably noticed that as well, that you're seeing sort of the same type of stuff. And what they're trying to do is to make us addicted to that news feed, so that we are just like the great ladies in Augusta I was talking to yesterday, that you absolutely want to get home or get to a situation where you can check that news feed, because you know it's going to be stuff that you're interested in. They've taken all that junk out. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but it's definitely something that you need to realize, that everybody that likes your page is not seeing every post that you see. It's a very small percentage. So we've got to get people to like, comment, and share on our post. We are completely wasting our time if we don't do that. So hopefully I've kind of made that point there. If you have questions about that, you can certainly send them in and we'll try to get to them at the end. So the number 3 big mistake that most people are making on social media is just not really understanding that people are on social media for 2 reasons. They're there to be informed and they're there to be entertained. So if you don't have anything informative or entertaining to post, well, then don't post it. That's just the bottom line. I think a lot of real estate agents really think that most people just want to see the listings and the closings. And what's happening is agents will go out, they'll take photos of the listing and they'll post that. And let me just say, don't post it on your personal page. It needs to be posted from your business page. Facebook is very sensitive about people marketing their businesses on their personal page, and they are going to start shutting down accounts for that. So if you do not have a business page, you need to start one and start marketing on that business page, not on your personal page. But what's happening is real estate agents, they'll go take the photos and they'll post the new listing, and then they won't post anything else about the transaction until it's closed. And then some agents will post a closing photo. Well, what that says to the public is that all we do is go out, list houses, and we come back and sit and wait, and then we go and collect a big paycheck. And so I know that's kind of a shock to everybody that maybe the public thinks that that's what we do, but we know that that's not what we do. We know how difficult it is to get a transaction from listing to close. Even just from contract to close is a nightmare. So what we need to do is to be informative. Let people know what it is that you're doing every single day. Post about what you're doing every single day. I know all you guys out there are working today. If you're doing nothing else, you're watching this webinar. So you need to post about what you're doing. If what you're doing is watching a webinar, then you need to post that you're watching a webinar on how to market your homes more effectively on social media. I can promise you that there's lots of sellers out there that are going to be paying attention to that post. If you are going to leave this webinar and go to meet a home inspector, then you need to post about that, because you're letting people know that you are working that day, that you're not sitting at home. A lot of us will post pictures of our feet in the sand or our feet up in a chair. Don't do that. Post the pictures of you working and let them know that you're working that day and you are working to sell their house. That will cut down on those phone calls from the seller saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing today to sell my house?" And I know we always get those phone calls several times a week. So let them know that you're out there working. Take a picture of the rotted wood around the toilet, and let them know that rotted wood is got to be replaced. That's part of the CL 100 letter, the termite letter, that's got to be clear before that house can close. And you've got to try to find a contractor to fix that before we can close. Let them know that you're out there working. So, all right, we're going to look at a few other ideas for posting. I get this question a lot. How often should I post on Facebook? Definitely, you absolutely have got to show up a minimum of once a day, and that includes the weekend. Consistency is by far one of the keys to social media and being successful on social media. So there's several tools out there to help you with that. You can do it mobily. You can post mobily while you're out and about. You can schedule posts ahead through Facebook, or you can use a third-party software like Hootsuite. Secondly, experiment with some different times. Once you have a pretty active page, you'll be able to see the insights on your page, and you can see what time of the day that most of your fans are online. And I will tell you that most pages that I have looked at, I think all except one, the time of day that most people are on Facebook is at 9 o'clock at night. So a lot of folks will say, "Melissa, well, it seems obvious that I need to post at 8:30 at night." And that is logical. However, you'll notice that people drop off after 10 o'clock. It drops off dramatically. So if you post at 8:30, you may get some pretty good engagement there, but then the post is going to die after that. So if you post earlier in the day, more around 10 or 2, that seems to be usually a highly trafficked time of the day for Facebook, then you have a better opportunity for your post to stay alive all day and get in front of people all day, and then get that great nighttime traffic as well. But you really need to experiment with different times. So thirdly, you need to share your own content on your personal timeline. A lot of real estate agents won't share their own content. They don't want it to show up on their personal page, but I'm here to tell you, if you are a real estate agent, you have got to let people know that you are a real estate agent. You've got to let them know about the listings that you have, and you've got to share that content in order to do it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. You need to like your own content as your personal self, and you need to tag your friends if they're relevant. So I'm going to exit out really quick and go and look at a page so I can kind of hopefully give you a little bit more insight here. So this is a post from Cindy up in Spartanburg. As you can see down here at the bottom, it says like, comment, and share. And so I would definitely want to click like if I was Cindy, and I would want to share it to my personal page. When you hit share, it will come up and it will say, do you want to share it on your own timeline, or do you want to share it on a friend's timeline, in a group, or on a page you manage? Be sure that this says your own timeline. Unless there is a group that you want to share it with, certainly you can do that, but you always need to share it to your own timeline. And you can write something else about the post or not, doesn't matter, and just hit share. But here is the big key. On this page, I hope you guys can see this whole page, there's a light blue bar at the top of Facebook. It says you are posting, commenting, and liking as Melissa Patton. Change to the page name. Be sure that when you are going to click like and share, that this says your own name, that it does not say the page name. Because if it says the page name, then you're going to like the post as your page and not personally. And what we want to do is we want to like and share it personally so that it's going to go to 6 to 8% of our personal friends. So in my case, I have about 1,500 personal friends. So I certainly want my friends to have the opportunity to be in that 6 to 8%. So be sure that this says your personal name and not the page name here. Okay? All right, let's move on. Oh, let me back up and say one thing about that really quickly. About tagging. You will not be able to tag unless you are using the page as Melissa Patton, as yourself, and you are using Facebook as yourself. See up at the very dark blue bar, be sure that this says your personal name, that this does not have your page name on it. You will not be able to tag people if you are using Facebook as your page name. If you have any questions about that, please shoot them over to us, or I'll give you my email address at the end. You can shoot me an email. I'll be glad to talk with you about it. But when you get ready to tag, all you have to do is click on the photo. It'll open it up into this light box. Hit tag photo, and then you can tag wherever you want to on the page. Just start typing in any of your friends' names. You cannot tag anyone unless they are your friend. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But that's how you tag. I get that question a lot. How do you tag folks? So now let's pop back up here real quick. All right. So what should we be posting every day? We want to be posting content that's going to elevate us to the expert agent status in the market. We want people to understand that we love our market. We know the market very well. So how about posting some market stats? One of the things I know that I would definitely want to know if I was interested in selling my house, I would want to know what the average days on market in the market was. If I'm interested in selling my house at the end of the school year, then I need to know, is the average DOM, is it 90 days or is it 160 days? Because that certainly is going to have bearing on when I put my house on the market. So if my potential agent is posting about what the DOM is or the average list to sell ratio, then that puts that agent in the front of my mind as far as knowing about the market and knowing what's going on with the market. So definitely post market stats every month. Post about local events, things that are coming up in your town. If it's a festival, if it's a fundraiser, if it's the high school football game, who they're playing, what time it is, where it's at. Post about what's going on so that people know that you know about the market, that you care about the market, the town, the city that you live in. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure where that's coming from. But definitely post about the market that you're in. Post about your listings. Definitely post about your listings. Let people know when you get a new listing. Let people know that it's a featured listing. Let people know when it goes under contract. Let them know if it has a price reduction. Certainly what we want to do is to let our sellers know that we are marketing that house on social media. Again, it's free, so that's going to, again, help cut down on those phone calls saying, what are you doing to sell my house today? All right, so we definitely want to let people know that we are closing some houses, that we are, not only are we listing houses, but we are closing them. So if you're interested in selling your house, you need to list it with me, because I'm actually getting the closing with mine. We want to, always post some inspirational quotes and photos, and there's tons of outlets for us to find inspirational quotes and photographs. This is kind of a no-brainer, and it's a great way to it's a great way for us to find friends to tag. If we've got a friend that's having a problem and we see an inspirational quote that we feel like that friend is going to definitely have an interest in, then tag that friend. And the sort of the sixth thing I want to talk about here is, if you don't have an editorial calendar, you need to get one. You can use just an Excel spreadsheet, kind of plan ahead for the month. You could do it on Google Calendar. You can make your own editorial calendar on Google Calendar. A great way to answer the question, what do I post today? That will help you tremendously if you'll do that. So, all right, moving on. Use your photos to establish yourself as the expert in your market. And we're going to go over and look at a few examples, but I just want to say, okay, hopefully that will fix that, guys. All right, so be sure that your cover photo, this is a very valuable advertising space, so we're going to look at that, but it needs to be changed a minimum of once a week. I would change it every 2 or 3 days if I had stuff that I could post about. Would definitely do that. Your profile picture, you need to find something that works for you, and you need to stick with it and never, ever change it. So I'm going to exit out of this, and we're going to go look at some examples. If I can. There we go. All right, so here's Cindy's. This is her profile picture here. This is the little picture in the bottom left-hand corner. If you need a size on this, it's 180 by 180, but only 160 by 160 will show up. But you have to upload something that's 180 by 180, and that's in pixels, not inches. So this profile picture, as you can see, will show up beside the name of your page anytime that you post. So it's just this little icon that's going to give people an idea of who you are, what you care about, what you do. And so we don't want to waste this with something that they can't see. And what I mean by that is, so here's newsfeed. So when I scroll through here, let me get to a spot where we can see several in a row. Let me try over here. So here are profile pictures. As you can see, they are so small when they show up in the newsfeed. You cannot see anything about a photograph. So my recommendation to you would be not to use a photograph for your profile picture. Choose something that's going to stand out in the newsfeed. And this great realtor, Evie in Aiken, she uses a big red block that says sold. So what does that tell people when they see her show up in their newsfeed? That says that Edie is selling some houses, that she's a full-time agent, that she's not just part-time, that she's not selling 1 or 2 houses a year. If she gets a hold of your house, then she's going to sell it. That's what it says. Here's another of my clients. He's over in Lake Greenwood, and he likes to use a little water splash to let people know that he's the lake guy. If you're going to list on the lake, you need to list with me. And this particular profile picture, it's fun, it's happy, definitely gives you a great feeling about Tony, and it lets you know that he is the lake guy. And it's very recognizable. When you start using whatever your profile picture is, people are going to get used to seeing it. So do not, under any circumstances, change it. Let's go over and see if we can look at a couple others. Here's my good friend Sherry out of Spartanburg. She works for Remax, so she uses a red and blue sold sign, a lot like Edie's, but letting people know that she is a full-time agent, and if you list with her, that you will see a sold sign in your yard. Here's my friends Chuck and Ray up in Spartanburg at Great Greenville Spartanburg Homes. They use the palmetto tree with a green background. They use the green because it's Greenville. Same with Tony at Lake Greenwood. He used a green background because he's in Greenwood. But if you are in, say, Orangeburg, you might want to use orange. Just a suggestion there. But this is extremely valuable real estate, this profile picture is here. So don't waste it by using a photograph. That is just a waste of time. And changing it is absolutely a waste of time. You need to find something that you like that says something about who you are and what you're doing and stick with it. So, all right. Next, up here in this broad space up here is called your cover photo on your business page. This is what I said. You absolutely need to go ahead and change a minimum of once a week, minimum. And I would always, always feature my listings there. And I would certainly use that as a listing tool. And let Mr. Seller know that if he lists with you, that he'll be featured on the top of your Facebook page that is reaching on average 3,300 or whatever the number is people a week, and that he's going to be featured there if he lists with you. And there's tons of free ways to build some really great looking cover photos out there. So I can certainly put you on to some of those free ways to build these cover photos. You can just shoot me an email. I'll give you that at the end. But here's Cindy's. She's featuring some of her listings. Let me see if I can find. I think we saw. Here's Tony's. He's featuring some of his listings. And here is Edie. Edie's featuring some of her listings up here. So they're definitely letting their sellers know that if they list with them, that they are going to use social media to get that house sold in a very quick way. So, all right, let me try to get back over here again. Whoop, wrong one. And move on. All right, so number 4. Now this is going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of you guys, but the premise of Facebook is only successful if you will friend everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody that you know, unless they're like a convicted felon or something like that. You absolutely have got to friend people in order to be successful, because as you've seen, Facebook is trying to cripple us with only showing that post to 6 to 8% of the people who fan our page. So when we share our page, then it goes to 6 to 8% of our personal friends. So if we only have 25 personal friends, then only 3 people are going to see it. But if we have 1,000 personal friends, then 60 to 80 people are going to see it. And we cannot tag anyone if they are not our friend. And just as I witnessed the other day with Edie over in Aiken, just while I was sitting with her, I watched her engagement go from less than 50 to over 700 just by tagging folks. So the few things that you need to kind of think about here. You can only friend, or you can only send out 20 friend requests a day. Facebook will stop you if you do it more than send out more than 20 a day. Now, if people send you a friend request, you can accept more than 20 a day. You just can't send out more than 20 a day. You need to absolutely go and make a list as soon as this webinar is over. You need to go make a list of all your vendors, the people that you work with every single day in real estate, because those are the people that you can tag in those photographs every day when you're going to meet the home inspector or the bug guy or the contractor repaired the rotted wood around the doorway. Those are the folks that you can tag, and they have friends that need to buy and sell real estate. So when you tag these guys and ladies in these photographs, those friends of theirs, they need to buy and sell real estate too. And so you are going to have the opportunity to show up in front of them. But the only way to do that is if you have friended these vendors. So you have got to go now and start making a list of those vendors and send out those friend requests. Definitely have got to friend current and past clients. As soon as you meet somebody, I would ask them immediately if they're on Facebook and send them a friend request, because again, you can't tag them and they don't have an opportunity to see what you're doing unless you are friends with them. So if you've got a list, if you've been in real estate for 15 years and you've got a list of 3,300 email addresses of friends of yours, you can upload that to Facebook, and it will automatically send those folks a request to like your page. If they like your page, you can go and just hit a button and send add them as a friend. The other thing, invite your friends to like your page. If you've got a lot of friends, it's very easy to invite them to like the page. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hop out real quick and I'll go and show you an example of that. Let's see. Right here at the top of your page, you'll see Build Audience. And when you pull this down, you'll see Invite Friends. And then when you click this, all of your friends will pop up, and you can just go down through here and invite them to like your page. If you've got an email list that you want to just upload to Facebook and ask those folks to like your page, you can just click Import Contacts, go right here to upload your contact list file, hit Invite Contacts, go find the file and upload, and Facebook will send invitations to all those email addresses of all those past clients and let them know that you're on Facebook now. So if you have not done that already, we need to do it now. So again, you cannot tag anyone unless you are personal friends with them. So this is extremely important. The tagging is hands down the best way to put a little gas to the pedal of your post and get it out there faster and let it stay longer. If you will tag folks, but only tag people who are relevant. Don't just be tagging people to be tagging people. They've got to be relevant. All right, let's move on. So the final big mistake that I think most real estate agents are making on social media is not really understanding that Google is the god of the internet, and that includes social media. A lot of people kind of think that Google is just one thing and social media is this other thing, but it's not. All social media pages, profiles, channels, whatever you want to call them, they are all indexed by Google when people search for your market. So if I am moving to Mount Pleasant and I type in my Google bar Mount Pleasant homes, then we have an opportunity to show up in the front page organically for the search with any of our social media channels if we've used our keywords appropriately. And so I'm going to kind of pop back and show you that in a second. With Facebook, anyway, there are 4 things that the Google robots are searching when somebody types in Mount Pleasant homes or Mount Pleasant real estate or Mount Pleasant houses. There's 4 things that are being indexed by Google. And that's the page name, the short description, the long description, and the image names. And so I'm going to pop back there and show you that in a second. But I want to kind of, well, let's go ahead and do that. So let me pop back here and look at the back end of a page really quickly. Well, this is Cindy's page. This is the name of her page. You need to be sure that the keyword, the most prominent keyword, most likely your market name, is in the name of your page. So you need your name and you need the name of your market in the page in some way, shape, or form, however you want to do it. If you want to do it as Melissa Patton, Realtor in Columbia, that would be okay. Cindy happens to want to use her tagline in the name of her page, but she's got Spartanburg in there. So if somebody's searching for Spartanburg, then Cindy's got an opportunity to come up in the front page of Google. Great Greenville Spartanburg Homes, again, they're using Greenville and Spartanburg. We got Lake Greenwood Homes. We've got real estate in Aiken. So you can see these agents have changed their page names to reflect the market that they're in, because we want our page to be able to come up in the search. So, all right, we're gonna right over here, and we're gonna look at the back end of a page, and I'm going to show you the short description and long description and kind of tell you what we need to be focused on here. So I'm in settings and page info. Right down here, about the sixth thing, you'll see short description. This short description is limited by 155 characters, so it's very short, just a couple of sentences. You need to list what agency that you work for, but you have got to try to stuff in as many keywords as you can here. So if you're in Greenwood and you focus in Greenwood and Lake Greenwood, I would try to get those, at least those 2 words in. If you focus in Abbeville as well, then I'll try to stick in Abbeville if it would fit. Try to put in as much as you can there. The next couple down is long description. This long description, the first paragraph needs to be something about you, sort of a little sales piece on you. But then after that, you need to take advantage of an unlimited character spacing here and put in every keyword that you think that people are searching for in your market. And that would be every town. Like in Spartanburg, you would need to list Spartanburg and Cowpens and Bowling Springs and Inman and Campbell, every town that people might be searching for. School districts, as you know, a lot of folks know that they want to be in a certain district or in a certain school name, so you need to put in every school name. That will give your page an opportunity to come up on the front page of the search for that particular school, which is, of course, what you'd want. If somebody is searching for, say, Chapman High School, and they're trying to find a report card on Chapman High School, and then all of a sudden your page comes up 3 or 4 down from that, they're considering moving to the Chapman High School school area, then you'd be the first one to show up. You'd be their first impression, most likely their first impression for that area. You want to definitely put in subdivision names, and I know that that's going to be painful for you to do. It's especially in these large markets that have tons and tons and tons of subdivision names. But most people, when they start searching, kind of decide what subdivisions that they're interested in, and they do search by subdivisions. So if you've got your subdivision names in here, then you've got that opportunity to come up in the front page of Google. So this is going to be long and painful, and so what you need to do is just go open a Word document. Don't try to just type everything into this box right here, but go open a Word document and start typing in all of these names, the town names, the school names, the district names, the zip codes, the subdivision names. Type in all this information in a Word document and just work on it a little bit at a time. Go work on, okay, well, I'm just going to do school names today, and then copy and paste that in, and then go back to it 2 or 3 days and work on it some more and add some more things to it. And just copy and paste in as you get an opportunity to. But this is extremely important to get your page to pop up. So the fourth thing that Google is indexing about your page is the page name. So I'm sorry, not the page name. We already talked about page name. The image name. So if I'm going to upload a new photo, be sure that whatever photograph that you're going to upload might be a keyword in it. So if I was going to upload a picture, let's see if I can find one here. Like this one right here that says home front. Really what I want to do is change the name of this and call it Spartanburg home, or actually Spartanburg, and then like whatever the address is, 123 Main Street. So that would be, you would want to change the name of the image before you upload it. If you have a lot of images on your page that have the name of whatever people are searching for, if it's a subdivision name or the name of the market, then Google is recognizing that your page is very authentic, and that it has a very, very good opportunity to bring you to the front page if you'll do that. So don't forget about image name. That's a little bit kind of tough. So All right, so those are, we're getting close to wrapping up the top 5. Keep in mind that all pages are searchable, that you need to have that list of keywords handy because it's not just Facebook, but all social media profiles are searchable, and we can get to the back end of Pinterest and Instagram and get those keywords uploaded back there. But I want to just take a minute to kind of educate you a little bit on YouTube, because YouTube is owned by Google. So when someone types in to the search bar, say Aiken Real Estate, then Google very, very, very badly wants to try to find a YouTube channel or a YouTube video to match that keyword that somebody's typed in, because obviously they're going to show those 3 ads at the top, but then they really want to show somebody a YouTube video because they want to get them over to YouTube so they have an opportunity to make more money on ads over at YouTube. So if you do not have a YouTube channel, I think we learned earlier that 73% of sellers are more likely to list with an agent who has a YouTube channel. Then now's the time, because not only is it a selling tool for your sellers or listing tool for your sellers, but it's a search tool, and almost nobody is using it. So if you'll jump on, I guarantee you're going to see some heavy traffic from your YouTube channel. Be sure that it's optimized correctly, and again, I can be glad to give you some more information about that. So do not forget about YouTube. If I had 2 social media channels that I was going to focus on, I would start with Facebook, because most people are on Facebook, and then behind Facebook I would focus on YouTube because it's owned by Google, and there's not a business in the world that's more attuned to search than real estate. So we've got to take advantage of what's really obvious, which is the searchability of the YouTube channel, that Google really, really, really wants to bring that YouTube video, that YouTube channel to the front of its search so it can have an opportunity to make more money there. So with that being said, I am going to ask Mike if there's any questions that we need to address. Nothing that I haven't already covered. So what I'd like to do is just let you know that I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. You can email me here at melissa@GoTeamSocial. If you're listening to this later, you've got a question, don't understand something that I said. Also, one of the big questions that I get from most people is, you don't know what to post. So I'm finishing up an ebook right now of the giant list of Facebook post ideas. So if you'd like to get a copy of it, I'll be glad to email it to you. It's not quite finished. I got just a few days left on it. So shoot me a quick email and say, hey, send it to me in the next few days, and I'll be glad to do that. Also, if you'd like to learn some more about what I'm doing, I spend a lot of my time in front of local MLS. So let your AE know that you'd like to see me come to your town. I know in the next couple of weeks I'll be at Western Upstate over in Anderson, and back down in Sumter again. So very much looking forward to those. So if you are in an area that I have not been to yet, let your AE know to shoot me a quick email, and we'll try to get something scheduled in the next couple of months, because you really, really need to get rolling. So with that being said, let me take an opportunity to thank Nick Cremitas again at South Carolina Association of Realtors, as well as Mike and Sharon. Done a great job with this webinar, and good luck to you guys. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.